Hi, I'm Shantel Krebs. I'm a state senator representing the east side of Sioux Falls, so Renner and Brandon area, and that northeast side of Sioux Falls as well. I also own a consulting business in retail consulting, and I previously owned a retail store downtown Sioux Falls, a shoe store and a clothing store, and good friends with Dr. Zabrinska. So hello to Dr. Zabrinska.
Are you familiar with the gender pay gap?
I am, and we were just having a conversation about that. In 1997, I was Miss South Dakota, and at that year, my platform for Miss America happened to be women in business and women equality, and that conversation led me to looking at the inequalities in the pay. And in 1997, women were making about 74 cents for every man's dollar, and I believe today you just said this, as of this year, we're making about 77 cents for every man's dollar. So that just shows you, after how many years? What's 1997 now? Almost 16 years later, that we've only gained ground by about 3 or 4 cents, which just tells you how slow it takes. So I think that just is a reflection of the challenges that we'll continue to have.
Have you ever run into this issue in the workplace?
I've been very fortunate to not think I have. Now, I had worked previously in the pharmaceutical industry, so in healthcare for Johnson & Johnson and companies like AstraZeneca, and they're larger companies. Now, I don't know directly if I've had, because you don't know what your counterparts are necessarily making, but I felt like I was paid at a fair rate. There are several things a woman can do, obviously, is challenge that, but there's the Hayes rating system out there, Hayes, and that Hayes rating system would also be able to tell you what an average pay would be for a particular job, and that would give you an idea of if you're in the right pay range or pay scale. The second part, and I think this is the most important part, is negotiation. Many, many times, and I'll talk about that today, is that many, many times women accept our first offer. We just naturally do. We accept everything the first time because we're very agreeable. We don't want a conflict. So never accept the first offer and always negotiate. So that's when you come back to them and say, I feel I'm valued, but bringing them to the table why you should have that $5,000 more if it's a salary or whatever it is. So I think those are two things that we do need to recognize as women. We need to be a little bit more confident in that negotiation skills.
Do you think this is a problem that can be solved?
I think really, yes. In many respects, yes, but timing, it's going to be a longer time frame than we think. Look at how many years, like I said, in 16 years it's taken this long. But organizations like business and professional women, today the organization I'm speaking with, young ladies like yourself, you have to continue to hone your skills, whether it be your personal development, just your self-confidence. You're going into the right arena. You're in women in technology and in science and in math. Those are areas where I think we're more and more competitive. But I think we need a little bit more of our personal skills honing it. Again, that negotiation, the body language, taking ownership, offering suggestions and ideas, and that's where it's going to take women to step up. So attending events, encouraging other women, networking, mentoring. Many times women sometimes get a little bit testy with each other, and you don't want to necessarily help the person next to you. That you can't have that in today's workforce. You have to help people next to you, another woman, say, I challenge you to do this, or I've learned this. Why don't you try this? It's called networking, negotiating, and mentoring. And I think those are three things that we need to continue to do, and that's how we'll continue to try to break that glass ceiling.